Hey everyone, welcome back. It's time to dive into some really cool ways to earn money. And this isn't just about, covering the bills. We're talking earning for specific goals. Things like dream vacations, that down payment on a house, maybe even starting your own business. And the best part is, we're going to figure out how to do it the right way, effectively and sustainably.
I like that, thinking long term.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're using this awesome source called Texto Pagado. It lays out all these different approaches for like 10 different financial goals. Get ready for some surprises, though. This is not your typical, get-rich-quick scheme advice.
Yeah, Texto Pagado really digs into how to make your earning strategies match what you actually want to achieve. It's all about working smarter, not just harder.
Love that. So first up, let's tackle something I think we can probably all relate to, paying off debt. Texto Pagado talks about things like gig work, driving delivery. Seems like everyone's doing that for quick cash these days. But they also talk about freelancing, which feels kind of different.
Oh, it definitely is. It really depends on what your situation is. Like, gig work is awesome. If you need money right now, you can just pick up extra shifts, whatever. But freelancing, that's where things get interesting.
Okay. How so?
Well, with freelancing, it's all about using skills you already have, like writing or design or photography, and you build an income over time.
So it's not just trading hours for dollars. You're actually building something you could maybe grow, like a mini business almost.
You got it. With freelancing, you're like marketing yourself. You manage clients, and you might even build a brand for yourself. It's a different way of thinking about work, and it takes more effort at the beginning, but it can really grow over time.
I can see that. Okay, let's switch gears to something a little more fun. Earning for a dream vacation. I was reading Texto Pagado, and they had this idea of a dedicated vacation fund. It just makes it feel so much more real than just like a vague savings goal,
Absolutely. It's like a mind trick. Almost suddenly you're not just wishing for a vacation. You have an actual account that's growing for that specific trip. Makes it feel possible.
Totally. And then I love this. They said you can rent out your place on Airbnb while you're actually on that vacation. Genius.
Yes. Passive income. Gotta love it. Pays for your trip while you're gone. Maybe even gives you some extra spending money.
Speaking of smart strategies, this one surprised me. They had a tip for earning money for education. Apparently selling study materials is a thing.
It is. People don't always think about it. But other students are always looking for good notes and practice problems. So if you like teaching or explaining things, you can actually make some money by sharing what you know.
So those late-night study sessions could actually turn into an investment. Interesting. Okay, now for something a little more daunting, I guess, but also really exciting, starting a business.
Now, this is something I'm passionate about. Texto Pagado talks about the power of pre-selling, which is brilliant for new businesses. Imagine selling your product or service before you even fully launch it.
Hold on. Isn't that kind of risky? What if you can't deliver?
It's definitely a calculated risk, but it can pay off big time. First, it proves that people actually want what you're offering. They're putting their money down. So there's demand. And second, you get money to actually start your business. You're basically getting funded by your first customers.
So it's a market test and funding all in one toy. Pretty cool. Okay, let's tackle a big one. Buying a house. Saving is obviously important, but Texto Pagado said something I hadn't really thought about. They said adjusting your budget can make a big difference.
It might not sound exciting, but trust me, it's huge. It's not always about making more money. It's about spending smarter.
Yeah.
Even cutting back a little on things you don't really need can add up super fast, especially if you're focused on a goal like buying a house.
Yeah, I get that. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking, I deserve this. But if you ask yourself, do I want that latte more than a down payment? The choice is pretty clear.
Exactly. It's all about priorities. Okay? Now, for something close to my heart, earning for a good cause. I love their suggestion of selling handmade stuff. There's a big market for unique things, and it's a great way to support something you believe in.
I see that. It's like a win-win. You get to be creative and maybe connect with people and make a difference in the world, all while potentially making some money.
Exactly. And the best part is you can do whatever you're passionate about, whether it's crafting or baking or art. You can use your skills for good.
I love that.
Yep.
Okay, now let's talk about something that maybe isn't super exciting, but it's important. Retirement. I'll admit I kind of zone out when people start talking about retirement, but Texto Pagado had a really interesting take on it. They talk about dividend stocks.
Dividend stocks are a great way to get what's called passive income. basically. It means your money is working for you while you're off doing other things, like, enjoying retirement. When you own dividend stocks, you're a part owner of a company. Yeah. And as a shareholder, you get a share of the profits, which they pay out as dividends.
So it's like getting a regular paycheck from your investments. That definitely sounds better than just watching numbers on a screen.
But is it only for people who are already good with money? Like, I wouldn't even know where to start.
Not at all. There are platforms and resources for beginners. It's easier than ever to get started. The key is start small. Do your research and learn as you go. It's about building a strong financial future, one dividend at a time.
Okay, that makes sense. Speaking of the future, let's talk about something we all hope we never need, but should definitely be prepared for emergencies. Texto Pagado mentioned cashback apps as a simple way to save for unexpected expenses. I'll admit I've always been a bit skeptical. Do those few cents here and there really make a difference?
They might seem small, but they can add up, especially if you set it up to save automatically. It's like a little bonus for your everyday shopping. It's not just about those apps, though. Texto Pagado was really big on having a separate emergency fund, like a safety net if you lose your job or get hit with medical bills, or even just like a surprise car repair. That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's good to know you have a backup plan if things get tough.
It's all about peace of mind. And it doesn't have to be a ton of money right away. Just start small. Maybe put a little bit in each month, and it'll grow over time. It's like building that sense of security, even if things are unpredictable.
Yeah, that makes it seem less overwhelming. Okay, let's talk about the future. Earning for our kids. Texto Pagado mentioned 529 plans, which honestly sounded like a whole bunch of financial jargon to me. Mm-hmm. Can you explain what those are, like for someone who's not a money expert?
Sure. Basically, 509 plans are like special savings accounts, just for education expenses. And the cool thing is, they have some tax benefits. Your money grows without being taxed, and then when you take it out for college or other education stuff, it's still tax-free.
So it's like getting a discount on saving for college.
Yeah.
I like it. But what exactly counts as education expenses?
It's not just tuition. It can be things like fees and room and board, even textbooks and supplies. Pretty much anything that helps with the cost of education. It's all about giving your kids a good start without a ton of student loan debt.
That's awesome. I'll definitely have to look into that. Okay, we've talked about a lot of long-term stuff. But what about when you just need some extra cash right now? Like for everyday expenses, Texto Pagado mentioned seasonal jobs, which I guess makes sense if you like staying busy.
Definitely. Seasonal work is great for getting a chunk of income in a short amount of time. It's perfect if you need money for like holiday shopping or paying off a debt or even saving up for something special. It's like a targeted financial boost.
So you go all in for a specific goal. But I imagine it can be pretty intense working those seasonal jobs. Long hours, maybe weekends and holidays.
Yeah.
Is that really sustainable for most people?
That's a good point. It's not for everyone. Seasonal work can be demanding, so you have to think about your own limits and lifestyle. It's great if you like fast-paced work and trying different things, but it's not a solution for every situation.
True. Okay, so we've gone through a ton of different ways to earn money, from quick gigs to long-term strategies. But I'm curious, out of all of this, what stood out to you? What are the big things you hope people take away from this?
For me, it's about being intentional with your money. It's not just about working hard. It's about working smart, figuring out what you want to achieve, and choosing the right strategies for your situation. It's about being in control of your finances instead of letting them control you.
And I think Texto Pagado does a great job of showing that there are so many different options out there. It's not one size fits all. It's about finding what works for you, your skills, your life, and your goals.
Exactly. And that's what makes it so interesting. There's no right or wrong way to earn money. It's about finding the right path for you and then using that to achieve your goals.
I like that. So we've talked a lot about how to earn money, but I think there's an even bigger question. Why are we doing all of this? What's the point of working so hard to reach these financial goals? We'll dive into that in the last part of our deep dive, exploring the real meaning behind all of these financial pursuits. All right, we're back, and it's time to wrap up our deep dive into earning for any goal. We've covered a lot of ground, haven't we?
Yeah, we've talked about everything from side hustles to investments, even some things people might not think about, like selling their old study notes.
We've given you a whole toolkit of strategies to help you reach those financial goals. But now I want to shift gears a bit and talk about something even more important. The why behind all of this. Why do we work so hard to make money?
That's the real question, isn't it? It's not just about having money, it's about what you do with it, how you use it to shape your life and the world around you.
So it's less about being rich and more about making sure your money is actually helping you live a life you love.
Exactly. Like, think about that dream vacation. It's not just about going somewhere. It's about making memories, trying new things, spending time with people you care about. It's about having those experiences that make life richer.
And buying a house. It's not just about owning property. It's about creating a home, a place where you feel safe and comfortable, where you can build a life with the people you love.
Even something like paying off debt. It's not just about numbers. It's about freedom. Freedom from stress.
Yeah.
Freedom to do what you want. Freedom to make choices without worrying about money.
Wow. You're really putting things in perspective. It's like all these financial goals suddenly have so much more meaning when you think about the why behind them.
That's the key.
Yeah.
When you connect your financial choices to your values, it gives you purpose. It keeps you motivated. And it makes those tough decisions feel worthwhile. It's not just about earning money. It's about creating a life you love.
I love that. But how do we actually do that? How do we make sure we're using our money in a way that truly reflects what's important to us? Not just what society tells us we should want.
It starts with looking inward. Take some time to really think about what matters most to you. What kind of impact do you want to make? What makes you happy? What do you want to leave behind?
Those are some big questions, but I can see how the answers would really help guide your financial decisions.
Absolutely. Once you know what your values are, you can start making choices that support them. If giving back is important to you, maybe you donate to charity or volunteer your time.
If taking care of your family is your top priority, maybe you focus on investing for the future or building a strong financial safety net.
And if you're all about chasing your dreams, maybe you invest in learning new skills or start that side hustle or even take the leap and become a full-time entrepreneur.
It's amazing how this all ties back to those specific earning strategies we talked about. They're not just random tips, they're tools that can help you build the life you want.
It all comes together. Earning money becomes a way to not only support yourself and your family, but also to make a difference in the world and create a legacy you're proud of.
This has been such an incredible conversation. We've covered so much ground, from practical tips to the bigger picture of what it all means.
I hope our listeners are feeling inspired and ready to take control of their finances and build a future that truly reflects what matters to them.
Yeah, this is just the beginning. Take what you've learned today and start putting it into action. Watch how your goals start to become reality. And remember, keep diving deep into what matters most to you. Until next time. That's it for this episode of The Deep Dive.